What's up you guys? So this is a continuation of this tutorial. Get your fabric and let's begin. So for this particular tutorial we'll be starting with the lower bodice. My name is Naya John. As you know, I teach you how to make beautiful dresses. So this is the fabric. I have 3.5 yards right here, and let me show you how I maximized it to give me that beautiful long dress. So on the floor here I have my whole 3.5 yards. The first thing you want to do is to spread it on the floor or on your table and go in by your desired length. What did I say? Go in by your desired length. So the full length for the lower bodice is 45 and I've just marked 45. I'll mark that 45 all across the fabric, and this is what I have. You can see that yellow faint line, right? So that's the length for the lower bodice. So this is the whole 3.5, right? By the time I cut out that 45 inches, whatever it is I have left, I'll join it to this side. Then that excess I have at the top, I'll cut it out and I'll keep it aside. That'll be for the upper bodice. Okay, now for the lower bodice, you can already see that the remaining fabric we added on the sides is going to add extra volume to our gathers. So this is how I'm going to join it. I'll join one to one side of my fabric and then the other to the other. Right here I have gone ahead to stitch up the sides, and let's see how many yards we have for our gathers. So this is 1 yard, then 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, and then half yard. So we have 4.5 yards of fabric for gathers, okay, with the length of the dress. Now the next will be to run a loose stitch around the top edge of your fabric, very loose and uninterrupted. Make sure that you follow this process. If you need a video that holds your hand and show you step by step how to create a proper gathered dress, type link in the comment section and I'll send you the link to that tutorial. By the time you're done stitching, you now take this to your cutting table and start actually achieving the gathers. So you're going to hold one edge of your thread. You know there are 2 twisted thread on your stitch. Hold on to one, just one of it, and then keep pulling like this till you get the desired gather you want. And make sure your gathers is up to the measurement of your waistline. So guys, this is what we have. Now after drafting the cup, which you have already done, you place on your main fabric and your lining. Okay, the main fabric is quite optional because you will be pleating the main fabric, all right, but the lining is very compulsory. You part the lining because the main fabric will be having pleats. So right here I'm just marking the place where my cup will be seated, my 1/2 inch where I will stitch the cup on. So that pattern paper we drafted the other day, just use your cup to create the hole where the cup will be seated. Is that simple? All right, so I'm going to take my cup right now and I'll place the center of the cup to the center of one part of the cup, and then I'll start pinning up. So after stitching up, this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead and attach the other cup, and this is what our lining looks like. So that's how the lining would be, right? Now I'm going to get my main fabric. Remember I told you to have pleated cups. Yes, this is it. Yes, exactly. So I did not pad the main fabric, I just used ST on the main fabric. So I'm going to show you how to create that pleat on your main fabric. Let's go. So first off, you get your tailor's ham and place your cup right on it. This is the cup on my main fabric without pad. Okay, you place it on the tailor's ham, then get pieces of fabric you'll be using for pleats. So yeah, I'm just checking how wide my cup is so that I'll know how wide fabric I'll be getting for the pleats should be. So what I have here is 10 inches. So I'll get a fabric that is at least 11 inches wide for the pleats and as long as possible. Yeah, so this is the piece of fabric I'll be using for the pleats. I even had to stitch join it because my fabric was no longer plenty. So you can see the wideness is 11 inches, right? Please take note that you can actually add bustier cups to your main fabric. Okay, if you add bustier cup to the main fabric, it will be easy for you to do the pleats on it. Yes, but I did not want this dress to be heavily padded, so I just used laminated foam. Does that make sense? So now we'll go ahead and start pleating our fabric. You can pleat it separately or you can pleat it directly on the cup, anyone you prefer. Okay, so after pleating, guys, my fabric wasn't long enough, so I added more. So I'm just going to stitch that up to the other pleated fabric later and then continue pleating till I get enough to cover my cup. Okay, there's no special mathematics for this. Alright, so once you're done pleating, you can stitch the edge, one side of the edge. Okay, so this is what my cup looks like, very deep. Remember I told you can add bustier cups to give it some firmness. Okay, but I didn't want to pad mine, so I just left it like this. So this is the pleat. I've pleated one side of the fabric. I'm going to pin it up to the cup. Now after pinning up, the next thing will be to start pinning the other edge of your cup. While pinning up, you'll be making the pleats. Okay, now I want to take a moment to really apologize for not having the cotton, like where we placed our pattern on our fabric and cut out. I don't know how I lost stuff. I honestly filmed every process, or I thought I did. So I'm so grateful that this very important part, how to pleat the cup, is available, and I hope this helps in any way it can. After pleating, you can see how cute it is. We are going to stitch round the cup before trimming the excesses. Okay, please, I hope you guys are forgiving me. If you are forgiving me, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so after trimming out the excesses, guys, see how beautiful the cup is even without pad. Go ahead and give this a very good press, okay? Now this is what your cup should look like after pleating. Remember, you can add cups. Okay, now the next thing you want to do now is to fix this on your main fabric. I don't know if you can see the bonings I attached. I actually inserted bonings. You know, this is a Dartless corset here. So I'll go ahead now and stitch this up to the main fabric. After stitching up, I'll get my yoke and then I'm going to pin it up to exactly 4 inches from the center of my bodice. Okay, so I'll go in by 4 inches and I'll mark it, and then I'll place my, what's it called now, the queen and yoke. I'll place it on that spot where I marked 4 inches. Okay. Now once you've gotten to this point, you can now go and interface with your lining. Okay, after interfacing, guys, this is what you have. The cups you inserted will help your cup stand better, will help the pleat stand better. Okay, so I didn't use cups, so the pad I used on my lining will help my pleat stand better. You can see you can also go ahead and just pad your main fabric, because this padding lining may not be so easy. Or you can pad your main fabric first, or practice with a calico fabric first before using a proper fabric. I'll attach the front to the back carefully and then move to the lower bodice. This is what your top should look like. Alright, now the next thing you want to do is to add your sleeves if you have. To the lower bodice, I have also gone ahead to gather my lining. Yes, I used only 2 yards of lining for. Now fold your main fabric into 2 equal parts, notch the center. You are going to be pinning that center to the center of your top. Okay, you will also do the same thing for the lining. So you pin it to the center and then all the way to the sides. Now after that, repeat the same thing for the lining. And guys, thank you so much for watching. We have come to the end of this tutorial. Bye.